a definition of hell that I heard was on the day that you die, you meet the person you were supposed to become.
Welcome to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast, where we cover anything related to behavior change that will increase your long-term wellness and happiness. And now, here are your hosts, personal trainer and RNs, Matt and Jenna Lane.
What's happening, everybody? Thank you and welcome back to the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. My name is Matt.
And I'm Jenna.
And today I'm extremely excited. I feel like I say that very often, but it's the truth. I have a friend on, Josh Kersh, today, and I'm fired up because I feel like he brings such a different aspect to the show. I feel like he's just got that grit. He's just a tough guy. Josh, I'm glad you're here, brother.
Thanks, sir. Thanks for being on.
At the top of every show, we hit you with our gratitude point, and I'm going to do that right about now, but I'm going to let you go first.
All right. It's about time. Well, as a serious introvert, I think that today I want to talk about how grateful I am that you, Matt, meet new people so seemingly easily. And Josh, I know I've only known you for like 30 minutes, but you seem like a really great person to have had the opportunity to meet. So Matt, thank you for being an extrovert, and Josh, thank you for being here today.
Yes.
I also just want to address something really fast. I'm having a really tough time.
They can't see this, though.
I know. Thank goodness this is only audio at this point, because
now I got to put it on social media.
Matt's had a beard. He's been growing a beard since November, and it's mid-August now. So it was a pretty significant beard, and he shaved it off today except for this terrible Super Troopers style mustache, and I'm having trouble just looking at Matt's face right now.
I'm seeing the new Ron Jeremy. That's all I'm seeing.
There's a lot of compliments in there. Well, if I had to hit you with my gratitude point, it would be that I'm super grateful to have functioning ears, though Jenna believes that I don't have the best functioning ears because she screams at me from across the house and I don't hear crap. I was thinking about it. I've listened back to some of these podcasts. Yes, I listen to my own crap. And just if I didn't have that ability, that would be such a like a soundless world, as ridiculous as that sounds. I mean that, and all the color that I could put it, but I'm happy, and I know that not everybody does, so I'm grateful for that.
What? That's usually half of our conversations. What?
Oh, yeah. What? Josh, if you have a gratitude point, man, hit us with it. If not, no biggie.
Oh, I do. Man, there's a lot to be grateful for, to be thankful for. I feel like probably one thing I'm more grateful for than anything is opportunities to grow. Most of the time that's disguised as a setback or a trial or a hardship or something that just seems like, oh shit, I can't do this. But it comes to that point of looking back once you get through that, and it's like, oh, I wasn't going through anything. I was growing. I was becoming what I was meant to be. I'm changing. I'm doing what I had to do to be where I had to be.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And to say the least, Josh and I have known each other not too long now. There's a lot that he's going to say today that I have not heard. I've heard some pieces, and I guess to dive into it, really, I met him through Colt Walden, a good friend of mine and my barber. He's been my barber for years. Just a very driven person. Shout out to you, Colt. And I saw this post that Colt put up, and it was this dude lifting some heavy ass weight, and he had Colt's shirt on. It was a Colt. Oh my gosh!
Pensacola House.
Thank you so much. I just totally
sponsored athlete. Thank you.
Yeah. But I saw that shirt and I was like, "Hey, Colt, who's this dude?" And he told me, so I sort of tracked Josh down and went through his Instagram, and he
Stalker.
1,000%. Yeah. I actually sort of felt guilty the first day we met. I was like, just so you know, I legit went through your Instagram, stalked you. But I just saw so much aggression, so much power, so much seriousness, so much commitment, so much grit. And I've talked about it before that, the circle that you surround yourself with, those 5 people, who you're going to end up being like them. And this is someone that I want in my circle. You know, I just, there's so much good I can feel and see in him. So I was excited when he said he wanted to come on the podcast, and we really haven't, you know, scripted anything out or thought about what we're going to talk about. I really just want to talk about his journey. So rather than me running my mouth any longer, started out by saying, you know, who are you and how did you start in fitness?
Okay. I feel like I should start off with a advisory warning. I don't have a filter. I cuss profusely. And I say that to everybody I meet because that's who I am. So the moment I start censoring what I say is the moment I start censoring myself. You're not going to get me. You're going to get a version of me. It may be a good version, maybe a bad version, but it's not the version that I want to bring to the table. So starting with that.
I'd have it no other way.
Sorry, people.
I like that.
Close your ears. Anyways, my name's Josh. I'm a personal trainer and a competitive powerlifter. I compete in the USPA in the 90 kilo and 180 or 81.5 kilo, so 181 pounds and 198 pound.
And what is the USPA for anybody that doesn't know?
United States Powerlifting Association.
Okay.
There's a ton of different federations. You can compete in a ton of different stuff, but that's just the one that I choose to compete in. It's close. They have local meets. It's nice.
Got it.
But I kind of got into fitness. Wow, man. I grew up playing sports. I played baseball most of my life. I was always active as a kid, always out in the woods, running around, climbing trees, playing with my cousins, doing anything physical. Got into high school and started playing football. Beefed up a little bit. I was a chunky.
You showed me a photo. It was night and day what you looked like.
Lord, my freshman year, I was probably 220 pounds of just fat assness. Like, didn't have a muscle on my body, just a bitch-made person. And I started playing football, and it was around freshman year. I started getting into weightlifting, bodybuilding magazines. I worked at Albertsons at the time, and any like the old bodybuilding magazines that they were throwing out, I'd snag them, bring them home, and just like read them and just look at these pictures. And I remember ripping out pages of these magazines, sticking them up on my wall of like Jay Cutler and
I already love this story.
I mean, Schwarzenegger, of course, Arnold, and Ferrigno, just putting them on my wall and thinking like I'm gonna be these guys. And I remember it was probably 9th grade getting this shitty little set of pig iron weights from Walmart.
Yeah.
Just this crappy set of dumbbells. And just doing curls, looking at, Ferrigno and Cutler and these guys. And now that I'm saying that, it sounds a little homoerotic, but it wasn't. It was purely for the pump people. But tore my rotator and my labrum in high school, tore it 2 different times playing football.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was going to have scholarships and go on to be a NFL superstar. That obviously didn't happen. Got out of high school, had my surgery. Once my surgery happened, I couldn't lift anything, couldn't do anything active for like 6 months. I was in a sling, had to go to therapy. It was terrible. In that 6-month time period and kind of just graduating high school into college, thinking, it's time to party. I want to drink beer. I want to hang out with girls. I want to do whatever I want to do. And that's what I did. I beefed up big. I mean, 260 pounds, just terrible. I went from...
And how tall are you?
6 foot.
Okay.
6'1" with my Nikes on, but I'll talk about that. So, I mean, in high school, senior year, I was in decent shape. I lost a, good amount of weight just from playing football. Lost all that with the surgery and the partying. Got really, really big. And then I, for whatever reason, just hated myself. I hated being that big. I hated looking in the mirror and just seeing who I was. And so I decided to lose weight.
Was there a trigger for that? Was there like one specific moment, or?
I wouldn't say there was one specific moment. I mean, I'd kind of always felt that, kind of like we had talked earlier about, that I wasn't ever good enough. I didn't like what I saw physically. I didn't like who I was mentally. I didn't like what I was, who I'd become, what I was going into. And that was pretty much my whole life. Like, I had never found my thing, like, this is it. This is what's going to make me be the person who I'm supposed to fucking be. Oh. And, so kind of taking another step back, really, I beefed up, I decided to lose weight, and I didn't know anything about it. I wasn't going to get in the gym. I was just going to stop eating. So I went to eating 1 time a day, like 90% of America does when they think that's how you lose weight.
Right.
And it helped a little bit. Like, I lost a little bit of weight. Well, then I found Adderall. And if you've never taken Adderall, not advising you to do it by any means, but if you take an Adderall and you're not supposed to, you have all the energy in the world, and you don't eat.
Yeah, it'll burn you up.
Yeah. So I dropped weight. I mean, just dropping pounds. Around the same time, found cocaine. Cocaine's a hell of a drug. I love the person I am on cocaine.
Really?
I do. I feel great. But it's for a very short amount of time.
Huh.
You know, you do that line and you're like, oh man, I'm fucking Superman. I can do anything. And then it wears off and you're like, no, I want to be Superman again. Like I want that feeling back. So, you know, you're constantly chasing that high, that feeling of like, you know, I'm a god. You want that.
Wow.
And, you know, so found the Adderall, found the Coke, Molly, I mean, you know, MDMA, ecstasy.
Jesus.
You know, I partied for a long time, probably from 20 to 24.
Okay.
I was partying hard.
What years was that? For some reason, I always ask the person that I'm talking to what dates it was, because for some reason it puts me into what was I doing at that time, and I don't know why. I've always done that.
So it was probably 2010 to 2014.
Okay.
Right around that time. Obviously, like more so towards the beginning, tapered off a little bit, kind of towards the end. Around 2014, 2015, I went through EMT school.
Okay.
Registered EMT with the state of Florida. I'm not active, so I don't work on a truck or in an ambulance, but I keep my licenses current up to date just for shits and giggles, basically. They might have actually almost lapsed. I need to look into that. Anyways, went through EMT school, and it was around that time I had kind of started getting back into the gym a little bit. Not really anything serious. Of course, I had to do, you know, PT tests for EMT. Like you had to be able to drag a 150-pound dummy and, you know, just make sure you could do certain physical things that you weren't going to get injured on the job.
Did you feel, as a trainer, did you feel like it was adequate? That's something that's always very interesting to me.
Close, man.
Really?
Like, there was some of it when we would use ourselves and our classmates as our, you know, dummies, like having to actually carry a dead quote unquote body, or just a, you know, someone who's not moving.
Right.
That's definitely way more realistic than a dummy. You know, a weighted 150-pound dummy is
much
not
different.
the same as a 150-pound person
Sure.
with limbs and water swishing everywhere.
Yep.
And, you know, you might misstep and they teeter over, or they flinch or something. Yeah, it's not even close. And now looking back, knowing what I know, there were so many things that need to be revised about that.
I bet.
I'm not in the position to do anything. So
That was a little Matt's ADD moment, so you're good. Go ahead.
yeah. So get through EMT school. I'm going to take my national certification for EMT so I can go pretty much anywhere. The girl I was dating at the time worked for a company that was going to relocate her eventually, so I had to have something that I could go anywhere in the country and work. So I figured EMT, I can get my national cert and just do it. Around 2016, my childhood best friend Keith passed away. Keep in mind, this whole time I'm still, you know, experimenting with coke and, you know, drinking every now and then. I say every now and then, I was going out at least once a month, getting blacked out drunk. I mean, when I drink, it's to excess. I don't know how to just have a beer and have fun.
Yeah.
So my best friend passed away, and that was probably the hardest thing I've ever dealt with in my life. Because of the circumstances around it. He died in a single car crash coming home from Birmingham after a job. Roads were wet, lost control of the truck, hit a tree. And, you know, I know that happens all the time. You know, people hit trees and pass away all the time. But Keith, that's not how he should have gone. He was a really strong person. You know, growing up, I remember being at the hunting camp with him and him just diving off of tree stands, reaching out for other tree branches and just riding those trees down like fucking Tarzan. I mean, the kid was bulletproof, you know, and for him to be taken like that really, really fucked with me. And I mean, still to this day, I can't fully accept that that's how it happened. So, you know, when he passed away at the funeral, I was on more cocaine than a human should have been on. I remember standing at his casket with, people still there right at and then the end of the funeral, they were about to put him in the ground, and I did a bump and lit a joint, not caring who was there, who was with me. I was in so much pain, so much hurt that was the only thing that would comfort me. And
it was just numbing.
It was 100% numbing.
Yeah.
It wasn't even, how I mentioned earlier that you get that feeling of like, I'm Superman, I'm a god. It wasn't even that. It was just like, there's so much pain that this is the only thing that will take the pain from me. And it got to the point where, I was spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars a day on my habit.
Really?
Yeah. Not good, not healthy, not good. And it got to the point where I realized that the road I was going down was going to kill me, and that I still had all this pain and all this hatred and anger from my entire life, from, my childhood of, my dad not being there, and, me feeling like I wasn't good enough, and then losing my best friend, the one person who truly knew who I was. Not having any of that, I felt like I was never going to get rid of it for anything. I just had to find something else to pour it into. And I was in the gym a little bit, and I realized, like, all right, fuck it. I'm just going to go in the gym. Like, I kind of get a little bit of the sensation of that high, that motivation. Obviously serotonin or dopamine gets released when you work out, exercise, you feel better afterwards. But I kind of started getting onto that, and I have an addictive personality regardless. So when I got into the gym, it took over my life. I mean, I was there 2-a-days, 6 days a week for a while. And, I got in really good shape. I, lost a lot of weight. I got strong, and it started to go away a little bit. That feeling of the numbingness started to go away. Not to where I felt better, but it wasn't the same. I had to find something else. Like I knew I was at the right door, but I didn't know which door to go through. And then I found powerlifting, and I can honestly say powerlifting saved my life.
Wow.
Squatting, benching, and deadlifting, 3 simple fucking things, are the reason that I'm sitting here talking to you right now. And I couldn't be more thankful for that.
Wow. That's like, so I've teared up a handful of times, and like I've had goosebumps because in the very beginning you were talking about like you felt like you didn't have like this direction, and you've explained it to me before, and I'm going to let you keep talking here, but you've explained it to me before. It sounds like you truly found yourself through fitness. Yes.
I mean, like we have mentioned before, I've had every job in the world. Okay. And I get bored very easily, and it was always, and now knowing what I know now and looking back, it was because I wasn't in the right thing. Okay. I wasn't doing what I should have been doing. So doors closed, other doors opened, so I could get to the point where I'm at now. And, it's funny looking back now, especially knowing what I know, that, when I was in high school and had those pictures of Cutler and Schwarzenegger on the wall, it's like, why didn't I do that back then? Like, why didn't I see that was the direction I was supposed to be in? Why didn't I see that was the person I was supposed to become? Not saying I'm ever going to be Mr. Olympia or, set world records or anything, but I should have known then that fitness and exercising was what I needed to be in.
I don't know, and it's not that you're asking me, I don't know, but initially my feeling was, it sounds like it took so many tragic situations to get you to that point, to sort of prepare you to have the gratitude that you constantly have. And that's something that I've been able to feel off of you, that you're very aware and you're very grateful. And had you done that then, I wonder, would you have that amount of gratitude, stuck with it? Would your life be, it's like the butterfly effect?
I don't think I would have.
No.
I think it as, and I guess I never looked at it as it took, losing my best friend to get me here, but it honestly did, because if he wouldn't have passed away, we still probably would have been, drinking and doing blow to this day.
Yeah. I
wouldn't be who I am. And I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is who I'm meant to be.
Yeah.
I know the first time we met and talked, I told you, a definition of hell that I heard was, on the day that you die, you meet the person you were supposed to become.
Wow.
And I don't want, and we're all meeting that person. Like, we're all going to die. That's inevitable. That's the only thing that's guaranteed to us in life is death. And I don't want to die and meet that person and it be who I am right now. You know, I don't want it, you know, if I die and the person I was supposed to become is some little pencil pushing couch potato, little snap city bitch, fuck you, man.
Yeah. I'm
so glad I went down the road I did, but I don't feel like that's the person that I'm going to be when I die. I feel like when I meet that person, I'm going to be looking in the mirror. Yeah. And, you know,
awesome.
it took what, I'm 29 now. It took 28-ish years. Well, I say 28, no, 26-ish years for me to figure that out, for me to get to powerlifting, to get into who I'm supposed to be.
I'm really glad you brought that up, because that was like, of all the things we talked about, because we talked about a lot with the little time that we spent lifting together the first time we hung out, but that was the most impactful thing that you said of all of it. And it was just like the way you phrased that was precisely the reason. That's how you are, who you are, what you personify. And I was like, oh my God, first of all, I got to have this guy in my circle, and second of all, he's got to be on the podcast.
So a little bit of a jump from what we've been talking about, but now what could you say, what is happiness to you, and do you think you're there?
There's no right or wrong answer. It's just whatever pops in your head. Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, and I'm going to sound like a total powerlifting fanboy. Happiness for me is picking up something heavy. I mean, the deadlift is probably my favorite lift. I love squats more than anything. Don't get me wrong. There's nothing feels better than putting hundreds of pounds on your back, taking that shit to the floor, and standing the fuck back up. There's just something about it. But there is nothing more primal you can do with your clothes on than deadlifting.
Yep.
If you want to truly see God, put 500 pounds on the bar and try to pick it up. You want to have a religious experience, do that.
Yep.
That is now my drug, because I get that same I'm a god, I'm Superman feeling when I pull a PR. I have a meet in
personal
October.
Record, just in case you guys didn't know. No, you're good. Go ahead.
I have a meet in October where I'm hoping for a 600-pound deadlift.
Wow.
Not impressive. I mean, there's tons of stronger guys out there, but that's neither here nor there. If I get that, and I should get it, that's going to be the best feeling to date of my life.
I have goosebumps right now.
I have a girlfriend. I love my girlfriend. The day I met her, happiest day of my life by far.
Sure.
But it's a completely different feeling. You know, I get love and affection, and I feel empowered by my girlfriend as well. But when I'm on a platform or when I have a bar that I have to do something with, it's me and the bar. You know, it's nobody else there. It's what can you do? How much can you put yourself through to get what you're trying to do? And cocaine doesn't do that. You know, no drug does that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing in my life that I found that gives me that full fulfillment. Like I feel full when I get done lifting or while I'm lifting. I have this sense of just of warmth and like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I am meant to be under a fucking bar putting my life into this. And, you know, it may sound strange to some, like if lifting or exercise isn't your thing, I can totally understand.
Sure.
That. You know, find for you what gives me this feeling.
Right.
You know, it just so happens that it's 3 simple moves for me.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah.
So, it's very obvious that that's happiness to you, with the amount of like the emotion that you just poured into that is perfect. So what is something that you struggle with still to this day? If it's something small, something big, something mental, something physical.
Man, that motherfucker in the mirror.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Even to this day, I every morning I wake up, take a shit, get done, take my shirt off, look in the mirror. And I can honestly say most of the time I see who y'all are looking at now. You know, I see who I've become.
Okay.
But a lot of the times I see old fat fuck Josh.
Really?
Like old 260-pound, beer drinking, no direction in life person. And it's something that I feel that is always going to be there. And I'm almost thankful that he is there, because that's the fucking hungry wolf. All right. that's the constant tap on your shoulder. Like, hey, you better keep doing what you're doing. You better stay on the road you're going to be on, or this is who you're going to become. I feel is almost if kind of going back to the day you die thing is I have that person who I was going to be when I died, and who I am now is who I was meant to be. And that person's still like tapping me just like, hey, motherfucker, don't come back. Don't come back. I'm here. I'm waiting for you. And he's not going to win. He can't. I am willing to die for what I do. You know, if barring granted, I haven't had any serious injuries to date, thankfully. I haven't, really hurt myself. But if for whatever reason, a doctor would be like, hey, you can't lift anymore. Like, you're going to die if you do this. Pick out a casket. This is what I'm going to be doing. If it takes me the rest of my life to put, an extra 800 pounds on my total, all right, fine. If it comes down to, okay, it's going to take a year off your life for every pound you put on, fuck it, let's go. Like, it is what it is. I don't have kids. I'm never going to have kids. Even me and my girlfriend now, we're very unified on the no kid front. So, I'm not going to have a legacy. When I die, that's my name. My last name dies with me. I have a half brother who has a son. We do share a last name, but it's a completely different bloodline. My dad's side of the family is out there for sure. So, my legacy is not going to be a person or a place. My legacy is going to be what I do in this sport. And, I'm still young in it. I'm still fresh in it. You may not know me now, but as CT Fletcher said, you will know me one day.
Dude, I fucking love you. I'm literally getting teary-eyed with like what he's saying. Just like the amount of like passion that goes into it is just.
And if anyone listening thinks that I'm bullshitting or making any of this up, come squat with me. You can ask Matt. This is as real as it fucking gets.
He can move some weight, that's for sure.
Let me ask something. So if you could tell old Josh something before you started this transformation, if you could go back and tell him something, what would it be?
That's a good question.
I've thought about that a few times actually. Obviously with me being a trainer now and almost being 30, fuck, I hate to say that. There's obviously younger kids or younger cats in the gym that come in, and there's a couple of them that I've kind of gravitated towards that I see something in. Mainly they're the guys that don't come in there and just let me do a bunch of curls, let me take some pictures, post on Instagram. All right, cool, I'm done. They're the guys that come in and work.
Right.
And I tell them like, man, if I was your age, like if I could go back, like I would be hitting it just as hard as you're hitting it now. I'd be doing the things I'm doing right now. But if I'm being real with myself, I wouldn't tell that motherfucker anything. I'd sit there and just watch him, because it took all of that to get here.
Oh, yes.
And people don't understand that. There is no reset button, okay? It took everything, every trial, every hardship, every failed relationship, every joyous moment, every little tiny thing where you picked the penny up off the sidewalk or you just kept walking. It took all of those moments to get to this. And this isn't the end. Like, this is part of the beginning. Like, this, it took years. It took 2 decades plus to get to where I'm at, but that's what it took.
I like that.
You need a podcast. Nah. I'm serious. My gosh.
I can only tell this story once.
It's so good. It's so good. I just want to keep my mouth shut and just let you keep talking. All right. So I'm talking about someone that wants to get started. What would you tell somebody if you could narrow it down to one thing? And if you can't, maybe, two or three things. What's the most important piece that you feel as a trainer going through it to get started, to just get started, to get healthy, to get well?
What do you mean? Like, as in?
I guess maybe like what steps would be the best to start taking to start getting healthy? The
first step, and I think it's really the only true first step, is find your why. You need to be in my chair because I don't need to be here. No, I mean, it's the truth. Like, so when, going back when I first got into the gym, it was just kind of like, I just want to get healthy. Like, okay, getting healthy is okay. That's cool and all, but what is getting healthy? Like, is that not drinking soda anymore? Or is that changing your entire nutrition plan? Is that, is that getting active? Is that getting your ass up off the couch and just getting into the gym and getting on a treadmill? Like what is healthy? Like that's a very broad category. So like find your why. Like you want to get healthy for your kids so you can play with your kids when they're older and not be a fat fuck? Do you want to be a strong person because stronger people are harder to kill? I mean, what is the purpose? Figure out why.
I fully agree with you.
No, I think my takeaway from this conversation is that you took a situation, you were at a crossroads at one point of you could say, you know what, I have this shit situation and I'm just going to let it weigh me down for the rest of my life. And this is going to be the reason why. But you took it and said, no, this is going to be my motivation to change my situation and make it better. And it continues to propel you. And I think that's
definitely, yes.
You took full responsibility of it, and you didn't let it, like you said, weigh you down. You didn't let it sink you.
Yes, definitely. I mean, at the time, I didn't realize that's what I was doing, though.
Right.
And looking back, I realized that's what I was doing, and I now know that and have that perspective and that outlook on things, and I try to put that into everything I do. Every situation I come across is like, is this an opportunity to grow? Is this something that is going to help me, or is this something that's going to hurt me? And if it's going to hurt me, why is it going to hurt me? Is there going to be a reason behind this?
So you could easily say that you seek being uncomfortable.
100%.
Yeah.
That comfort zone is a motherfucker. Fuck that guy. I hate that guy. That guy's a little baby back bitch. That's the guy sitting in the comments on my videos that are like, "Your form shit. Oh, I'm 160 pounds and I can lift more than you." Well, fuck you. Like, come do it then. Like, that's complacency almost. That's laziness. That's all the things that you should strive to not be.
So this is sort of off the record, but
well, I mean, we're being recorded.
Josh and I have sort of talked about it. Like what I'm doing, what Jenna and I are doing is building a brand, and Josh he trains people, and I know that he's building a brand. I know that he's wanting to do that. Like we're literally talking about him making a logo and stuff like that. And you are the type of person that will be successful with this. I can 1,000,000,000%, I would put my life on it, that you will be quote unquote successful. Whatever success is to you, it's going to happen because of all the traits and all the things that you've said that define who you are. It's going to happen.
I appreciate that.
And to you, the listener, if you can hear the amount of passion in his voice, and he's used the pain from the past as not an excuse, but as fuel. And it's just, that is what it truly is about as far as developing yourself.
And I still do. Like if you watch videos of me, especially like deadlifting, squatting and benching, you can't really see my face just because of the angle I have to get from my coach. But deadlifting especially, you can see my face. I mean, I'm truly powered by rage.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I before I get to the bar, I have a little ceremony thing I do with chalk and my belt and ammonia if need be. But I have these little steps, this little ceremony I go through. And as I'm going through it, I'm thinking about every shitty thing that has ever happened to me. I am getting so hurt and so pissed and so just upset with myself for all of this that I have to put it on that bar. I build up so much anger, and if anybody watches like Dragon Ball Z, going Super Saiyan, just gathering that energy, I take that. There's good energy and there's bad energy, and I take all that bad energy and I put it into one moment. And, it truly is being powered by rage, powered by anger. And, we have those thoughts and those emotions, and they're not going anywhere. You just got to figure out how you can put it into something positive.
Yeah. What to do with it.
Yes.
Yeah. You can't stop your thoughts, so use them.
Yes.
Well, I think that's awesome. I mean, what I want to do is I want to plug all of your information. So in the description, you're going to be able to find all the links to find him. You're not in Pensacola, you're in Pace, right?
I live in Pace.
Yeah. Okay.
Pace. I train at Riviera Fitness currently.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that one
Yeah.
for now. But I'm only on Instagram at Lift and Eat.
Okay.
Or Lift Neat, however you want
to
spell that. I try to be as old school as possible with how I branch out. And I know you've kind of talked to me about the podcast and the YouTube, and definitely something I kind of want to look into, but I don't want to be marketed by anything. So you're never going to catch, a sponsored ad for my page on your Instagram. I want you to find me because you know somebody that knows me. Because you
saw a video of your barber, and then you could see the aggression through the Instagram story.
You found me because you just happened to, I was a suggested friend, and you're like, oh shit, that guy, like, I want to talk to him. Like, I want to lift with him. I want to meet him.
Yep.
And, I am a, I guess gym bro. I have a certain look to me. I'm big and bearded and somewhat muscular, but
you're muscular, bro. Yeah.
I'm probably one of the chillest people you will meet. Once you get past this hard quote unquote exterior, like, I'm chill. I will sit down and talk to you about anything. I'm the biggest nerd. I love games, Star Wars. I do all kinds of nerdy shit, but it just, I don't know. People see certain things and I guess get an impression of that without even, that old don't judge a book by its cover. You really can't do that because you're missing out on true gold, on true, people that bring realness to you.
Yep.
And I don't know if I told you yet. I did leave a comment on iTunes.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
And I will say this for everybody. These people are probably two of the most authentic people I've ever met. And that was kind of what the comment was.
That's awesome.
Was just authenticity.
Wow.
They do have a passion for this. They do genuinely care. And granted, I haven't known them very long. Jenna, I've known you for all of, I think, an hour now.
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah.
Solid 60-minute relationship. But they truly care. And they're very, very genuine people.
Dude, thank you so much. This has
awesome
been amazing. This has been amazing. I'm going to plug Josh's information in the description. This has been incredible. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I didn't say it at the top of the show, but leave a review on iTunes and you will get a free shirt coming to you until October.
From now until October
16th of 2019. So Josh, you got a shirt coming your way, brother. Unless y'all got any closing remarks. You got anything, Jenna?
I think we covered it all.
Anything else you want to say?
I mean, there's a lot I want to say, but no, that's pretty much it.
We'll have to have you back on.
Yeah,
Definitely.
absolutely.
Anytime.
Absolutely.
Well, awesome. I really appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Guys, we'll talk to you next week.
This has been the Better Than Yesterday Everyday Podcast. We want to thank you for listening and invite you to subscribe to the show as well. And follow Matt Lane Fitness on YouTube. Until next time, you don't have to be perfect. Just be better than yesterday every day.